Yeah, this is, I think, very good conversation. This is a segue to Duterte's, right? Because, we can make all sorts of criticism of Marcos Jr. And on this platform, among others, we criticize the PhilHealth fund transfers. I completely agree with, because some people criticize both me and Christian Esguerra daw, bakit purong Duterte yung content namin, wala masyado dun sa ibang departments, bakit purong confidential. Well, so if I have a research team of ano, I'll go through each of them, right? I have no problem. But, realistically, I can only focus on the worst cases. And in my opinion, Duterte's are the worst. And I had a column earlier this week, Duterte, the worst president ever. I still put a question mark out of, courtesy for the sake of debate because I want to open up the debate. You have been making similar argument. Ako kasi for me, ibang level yung allegations sa Duterte's, and is it really just allegation, right? That you're talking about mass murder.
Yeah.
And even worse than Marcos Sr. because Marcos Sr. was there 21 years.
Yep.
Kasi di ko wala pang 4 years nalampasan
niya. Actually, on 2 years, on the second year, nalampasan na niya.
I'm just even being nice with the numbers of the
government. Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
I'm using the government numbers to 4 years. If I use the legit, Transparency International, whatever, Human Rights Watch numbers, yes. And not to mention, at least si Marcos Sr. hindi duwag sa China. He actually built our facilities. But that doesn't mean okay yung ginawa niya. I'm just saying, to put into perspective, if there are people who think Marcos Sr. was the worst, I would put Duterte in a different category. And ipso facto, BBM, who's not a dictator last time I checked, at least so far, will not be in the same category. Right? I'm not saying okay si BBM. I'm just saying ibang category to eh. Kaya sabi ko, in theory, I'm more comfortable with the idea of interviewing BBM than Digong back in the day. But again, is Duterte the worst ever president for you? I mean, as an amateur historian, if I can put it that way.
You know my answer. We've talked about this, I believe. I believe we did it on air.
Kasi noon wala pa yung quote comment all eh. Kasi, I mean, the world can still, wala si Garma, I mean, sariling mga ano.
Alam mo, it's so obvious naman kasi what Digong did. Actually, what surprises me is that nobody is still indicting him or nobody's charging him because of the fact of all his pronouncements. He already admitted using the confidential funds to kill people. Galing sa sarili niyang bibigyan. He already admitted several times to killing people. He seems to even celebrate in the idea that he can make such pronouncements and admissions and nobody can do anything about it. He already said so many times na about, na kaibigan niya itong mga pogos at walang problema sa kanila, and formally, lagot ang mga Senado for even investigating formally. Kinakalaban niya ang sarili niyang bansa against all the people, his cohorts or the allies or the people that benefited from his presidency. And that's what surprises me is that nobody's doing anything about it. Digong, yes, for me is the worst president ever. We agree on that. Kasi first, the mass murders, number one. Number two, favoring another country as the sitting president.
Are you saying treasonous?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You're the president. You're the president of the Philippines and you allow a Chinese Navy ship to dock in Davao. And then you allowed Chinese military jets to dock in Davao, and they were docking with empty. These were empty vessels, walang laman. And what was inside those things? What were you putting or pulling out of that? And he wouldn't even tell anyone.
Stem cell.
Tapos and plus the fake war on drugs. That's the worst part of it. The human rights violations. Now, I'm gonna add lang, I know that mga DDS, yung mga natitirang konting DDS that are still saying na, pero tignan mo, kagaya sabi ni Bongo, yung katahimikan na na-enjoy nating mga Pilipino dahil sa ginawa ni Duterte. So, inaamin mo nga may ginawa si Duterte, number one. Number two, yung usapan na nagkaroon ng peace and order. Even Goma said it, diba? There's peace and order. Okay.
Sabi ni Richard Gomez.
Sure. Let's look at statistics, okay? We all agree that we all want peace and order. We want less crime, right? But less crime without the abuses by the PNP, without the abuses of government, without the corruption, without mga dayuhan actually invading our country. Without all of that, that's what I want. Unfortunately, the one in power took advantage of this war on drugs to be able to propel himself and all his the people around him to riches and to steal from the government. Now, nanahimik ang Pilipinas, diba? Sabi nila during the time of Duterte. Guess what? Crime numbers are actually down in the time of Marcos by 60 or 70%. the crime volume went down from 190,000.
BBM.
No, I'm just saying, it really is from 100.
Cool pals yun eh.
Parang
Every time BBM.
190,000
You saw what
na-
I did. BBM.
na volume, it went down to 73,000.
Oh, shout out Secretary Abalos.
Exactly.
Mandaluyong, here we come.
Oh.
Yung represent.
That number
Fire shot.
that number really impressed me. And then that's when you can see.
Kalaban ng kriminal. Pero yung kalaban at kriminal lang nakikita.
Pero tingnan mo to Abalos did it without having to kill people.
Yes, exactly. The same
Without
sa amin, Baguio, Magalong. Shout out.
Magalong, exactly.
Yeah,
You didn't have to
walang yung JK sa amin.
kill people, but people were not being killed by the police, and you still got peace and order.
Exactly.
And people weren't afraid. That's the problem with.
Pasig rin.
Oh, Pasig.
I wanted to say, alam na Mark, saan mo, meron kaming mga background information. I won't mention other cities because, I got weird information here and there. Mark, kasi one is, for me, just in my journalistic fairness, let the evidence and all come out before I make that final judgment, although I already implied that all the time, di ba? Now, medyo mahirap. But the other thing is, pabaksak din yung popularity ng Duterte. Di ba? Kulelat sila. Walang tumakbo sa Senate. Si Baste, na-demote pa sa vice mayor na lang. Si Polong, medyo alanganin siguro kay Migs Nograles. Digong, well, he's gonna win it most likely. But
You think?
but
I don't know.
What I'm hearing.
But is he gonna finish his term? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look good. I mean, I don't know, man. So even if Carl Nogales loses this round, if he keeps it close, and then basta yung next round, good luck sa inyo.
Yeah, and isn't it true though? I think that is the rumor going around that the only reason Digong is running is because they knew that Baste was not liked by any of the councilors or any of the people around him, and they're all saying that he's really a bad mayor. So when they found out through the grapevine that Nograles was going to run, then Digong said, "Ako na lang." Yun pero my God, if you listen to Digong's reasons on why he's running, it's ridiculous. I'm actually going to do a video
Digong
about
and
it.
reasons, I mean, the same sentence. I'm not sure, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, pero ito lang masasabi ko, with Digong running, honestly, there was a good comment that was made on one of my videos, the one I did about Nograles and Duterte. Sabi nila, alam mo, we really believe that Duterte is running because of his lust for blood. Because when you've been a mass murderer for the last 36 years of your life. Actually, he's been killing even while he was in college. He admitted killing a fellow law student.
Siya,
Yeah. So he's already had that lust for blood and he got away with it back then. And he got away with it on the 30 years as mayor. Can you imagine somebody who's nasa DNA mo na yan hinahanap mo yung pagpatay ng tao. That's your dopamine fix. That is a megalomaniac to the level of Hitler, to the level of Napoleon Bonaparte. Psychopath that loves the power and this grand illusion of grandeur that he is God. He calls himself Superman. Okay, he wants people to call him.
Insulted the Lord. I mean, this guy is.
He thinks he's God, so he's above the law. So in this sense,
he was best friend of son of.
yeah, there you go, the son of God.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure. So
I don't know what dynamic they got, but
so it's like they're Trinity.
I don't
Okay.
know, man.
So
it's crazy stuff. So you're saying no question he's worst by far, even if as we are critical about all the kapalpakan. Kasi ako naman, kung katamaran ang usapan, yes, close fight, Digong, Erap. Kung corruption scandals, Arroyo, Duterte. If, EJK, Senior Duterte. You know what I'm saying? Like, foreign policy, he's like way ahead of everyone else.
Yun, exactly. So if you look at it on several categories, talagang panalo si Digong sa pagiging worst president.
I'm willing to go up to Aguinaldo and make still that argument.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
I'm willing to go like first republic.
Kahit yung mga under Japan, no,
Kahit isama po si Laurel, I'm willing to argue that the collaboration with Japan saved more lives, I mean, I'm talking about Laurel, than this guy collaborating with China and dami namatay sa I'm just saying, like, even if you play the historian card, I'm willing to stand by that ground. Shout out kay Ambet Ocampo and our friends, the historians. Go ahead, but yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But what are we learning in the Quadcom that could be politically explosive? Mark, sa tingin mo, I mean, we discussed this a little bit in RRM, but since last week our conversation, you think the Garma thing, the Kervin Espinosa thing, the Espenido thing, I'll go back to Mr. Hearing an analyst here kasi ito talaga, how explosive do you think na ex-lover of the president potentially, serving as a chief witness for the whole, ito na yung totoong Matrix talaga, yung Matrix na totoo, hindi yung kay Jollibee at saka kay si Edo Manzana
At saka si Hidlin Diaz. Lahat sinali na.
Nainggit ako, di ako nilagay doon nun eh. So, ito na yung totoong Matrix, meron na tayong idea. So, what do you think about that?
Ayun, kasi kumbaga, the people on the top nung panahon na yun are starting to feel the pressure na eh. Kumbaga, the building up is from the ICC and dun sa Quadcom and dun sa lahat ng... So, ako I'm really interested to see what else we would find out dun sa mga pangyayari. Kasi we all heard about it. It was an open secret nga dun sa mga police and sa mga pero yung level o yung degree nung how they were doing it and kung paano nila and how much and kung sino yung who was carrying it out, who was
it matters, no? Details matter kasi you can have a spectral, abstract idea of a horrible thing. It's like war.
Yep.
Someone says, ang dami nakamatay sa Gaza. And then you see people being burned alive by a bomb. Medyo iba yung effect. You see a mangled child losing the head. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like we don't...
And yung evidence talaga.
In your face.
It really matters talaga as to hearsay or yung naririnig natin or yung pinag-uusapan nila doon. So ito may actual na affidavit, may actual na evidence, may actual na mga nagte-testify. So mabigat eh.
Pero tingin mo ba si Garma is just an innocent bystander as she claims to be?
No one believes that. Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Everyone
but
knows.
see, that's my worry about her.
Makakasuhan siya, diba?
Yan ang takot ko nga doon sa kanyang affidavit. Kasi when you make an affidavit, you're claiming that that's the truth, right? That's a sworn statement.
So you're saying the veracity will be questioned?
Yes, because
she got herself scot-free too much.
Of course, she says, kayo lahat alam nyo yan. You all participated. I just knew about it. What the heck? Are you serious? See, bakit kaya isipin mo, paano namatay si Barayuga? I mean, come on. You were
how it started.
Yeah, you're the PCO chair and you admitted that you got a phone call from a friend out of nowhere saying na Barayuga is doing drugs. And then you happen to mention it to Leonardo and then Leonardo acted on it on his own. Come on.
Just because Leonardo is the chief operating officer, COO of this whole drug war operation. So if they're going CEO, he's the COO, right?
Yeah, parang ganon. Yeah. And not just that. Now, then after that, he became Napolcom, di ba?
Definitely.
Which is like that's the ano tawag mo doon yung internal affairs Napolcom. And how do you find fault when the person in charge of looking for fault in the police is the head of the freaking
Well, isn't that what Bato and Bongo want? They will investigate themselves in the Senate. Isn't that ridiculous?
Sobrang conflict of interest naman yung gusto nilang mangyari doon na sila yung kakausap kay Tatay Digong, sila yung
pero actually, sorry, going back, I would love them to have their own hearing kasi feeling ko Jonathan Morales na naman may dudulas sa no sige si Digong yung kay Bato na yan inutos ko hindi na ginawa yung pinatay lang niya gagagano siya I'm sure actually I want it to happen lang pagtawanan natin
I'll tell you I have this theory on Duterte sa mental capacity
acuity
and honestly
dudulas yan
hindi madudulas he will admit it I think Duterte will incriminate himself not because he wants to, but because he can't help himself. Yung ayaw niya kasi na kine-question siya. He hates it. He hates it when media questions him. That's why whenever media says to him, "Are you going to do this?" Hell, you know I'm gonna do it. Papatayin ko talaga.
So between his ego and his political he'll choose his ego.
Versus political survival. Yes, psychopath.
If he's a psychopath, psychopaths don't care.
Psychopaths want to admit they committed a crime. They want you to try to catch them.
They'll boast it pa.
Yeah, the Ted Bundys, they do that. They're trying for you to catch them and see if you can. Kaya nga nung Ted Bundy sa classic case of a psychopath he really said na, I did it. Tapos try to
So tama ako na ituloy na yan. Kasi,
ituloy talaga, whether it's Quadcom or Senate.
Ito problema ko, pag tinuloy sa Senate, who will stand up to Digong?
No.
Riza will.
Risa lang, no? Si Risa lang.
Speaking of Risa, di ba?
So siguro,
kaya niya yan.
dalawa kami ni Risa doon. Magka-quadcom kami doon sa Senado. Hindi kasi yung mga senador parang ang soft Kung ikukumpara mo sa, di ba? Kung ikukumpara mo sa
Congress.
No, but in fairness to Riza, so she tried to immediately checkmate this because I think everyone cried foul about, like, wait, yung in-investiga, mag-investigation.
Oh, galing nung ginawa niya.
So immediately she said, wait, bakit si Bato ang mag-oversee hearing? Let the Senate President do it.
Yeah.
So siguro habang nag-ayos ng eyebrows or Paris Fashion Week, yayan niya na because I don't think Cheese will, in fairness kay Cheese, he's a smart guy and I think he's smart enough to realize he cannot look pro-Digong or shielding them. But ako, I still like the crazy idea of Bato overseeing it. It will go and Digong feeling comfortable.
Yeah, we'll just say everything.
Yeah, spill all the beans. Gagana si Bato doon. Yeah.
Pero alam mo, I look at Digong. If you ever seen the movie A Few Good Men,
yes, of course.
Colonel Jessup,
Yeah,
Jack
yeah.
Nicholson, yung character niya, yan si Digong eh. Yung I made the order and I don't
Proud
wanna...
pa siya, yeah.
Oh, because you don't want to have to deny you made the order. Kasi nga, and he even said, you're living with the comfort that I provide you, with the security I provide. So don't question the method of
It's
how I
that
provide
mindset.
it.
Yeah.
It is exactly how Duterte
Ganun
is.
nga, no?
Kaya, I'm telling you,
That's a
if you
good
put
method,
him on the stand,
He will do that.
he will say it because he hates the fact that he's gonna be questioned by Kabataan Representative Manuel or si Franz Castro. Pag humarap si Franz Castro, mumurahin niya yan. Oh, sabi niya.
Dapat nga pinatay ko kayo.
Oh!
Sabi niya, alam mo, ito kasi tanga tong
Yeah.
inutusan ko, di ka pinatay. I'm sure he'll say that shit.
He will. And then, but the question is, kasi I think he still believes that the Congress and the government agencies and BBM will not have the balls to actually cite him in contempt or worse, charge him with a felony because what he did is a felony. Hindi siya exempt doon. Kaya if BBM wants to increase his ratings,
This
if
would be
he
good.
did that, my God, I'll tell
Actually,
you, shoots up the roof.
Mark, I want to also get your idea on this, diba? Parang Duterte is the kind of a madman theory, right?
Yep.
I'm just gonna go so crazy, you'll think twice before crossing me. The problem is that you cannot do that forever. If you do that forever, madness is the method. Hindi na siya the method in the madness. And we see that, diba? I mean, the reason why watak-watak itong unit team is not because of BBM. It's because napuno na si First Lady. Na everyday, binabastos niya yung asawa ko, bating baste na...
Oh, yeah, that was
butas
so
ng
bad.
Parang, what the heck? Tapos tumatawa pa si Sarah. Otherwise, if it's just up to BBM, paras kayo di ba? Conflict avoidant, then may unit team pa rin.
Yun ang problem kay BBM.
Yun naman. Pero at least yung asawa niya, mahutak.
And si Martin Romualdez.
Yeah, so the adults yan, like, kami ng balad. Di ba? Kasi
Yes.
Doon mo makita gaano ka suicidal politically si Digong. Wala siyang pake. He will just go there. And it's a hubris and it's also this delusion that as si Tatay Harry put it, it's the Duterte magic, which is, I'm not sure that black magic is working as much, right? What do you think about that? That Duterte is really digging his own grave here, and maybe you want to give him the final blow. Put him on a hearing and let him do a crazy... Parang he wants to go out with a bang.
Oh,
diba?
yeah.
Do the craziest
I agree with you. I really want that hearing to happen. Let's go.
But good po, is that the nearest thing we're going to get of having Duterte on trial?
I don't think Duterte is going to attend. Yun lang. I really believe...
I really want him to...
I don't think he will. Kasi
Kung hindi
alam
si-
niya
kung
na...
Hindi si Bato, kung
Hindi,
hindi si...
feeling ko si
Kahit si Bato, hindi ang pupunta
kahit si Bato,
dito.
hindi pa rin mag-attend.
Tingin ko hindi attend. I'd be surprised if he did. Because he will incriminate
Or
himself.
let's say, okay, for the sake
Yung
he'll first attend na mukhang kawawa, matanda, and then wala pang 10 minutes, mainit na ulo niya.
Oh!
Wala na yan.
As soon as you ask him the hard questions that he hates, especially if a Riza Hontiveros is
yung
asking,
matrigger siya.
matitrigger yan.
Actually,
Bibigay yan.
And by the way, kahapon kausap ko si Justice Carpet, technically, the evidence gathered there could be also used by ICC.
Yes,
So actually, the Quadcom, and they're doing the legwork na for ICC. Ang maging negotiation lang mamaya is if ICC believes that now finally the Philippines is taking care of its business. Kasi di ba under the principle of complementarity, hindi pwede pumasok ang international courts if the domestic institutions are functioning. So now, ang debate is, oh, you're functioning very well, but do you still want me to come in? But nevertheless, you can see this, that this could be not the final trial. Baka madala pa rin sa Europe si Kuya, di ba?